Welcome to Channel 404, your daily dose of cinematic thrill and wonder. Beware of spoilers ahead. Proceed with caution.
During the day, he was a gynecologist, bringing new life into the world. But at night, he turned into a devil, targeting women. Yet he never made the first move. The women would come to him. They were all young girls who got pregnant unexpectedly. They were scared of their families finding out. So, they sought him out for abortions. What they didn't expect was him secretly recording the procedure. He used those videos to blackmail them. Out of fear, they often obeyed his every command, but his desires grew more sinister. One night, he set his sights on a blind girl. This blind girl was once a cop. A car accident took away her only brother and her sight. That day, she was alone, waiting at a platform. She didn't wait for a taxi, but a private car showed up. The man claimed he was a cab driver. Without much thought, Gia got in, but once inside, she felt something was off. He was too attentive, offering water and a towel. She sniffed the water cup. Why did it smell strange? As he kept insisting she drink, something unexpected happened. The driver quickly got out to check. Seizing the chance, Gia tried to escape. The driver stopped her, saying they just hit a dog and it's no big deal. Gia touched the car. Could a dog break the windshield? She tried to call the police. He angrily knocked the phone from her hand. He tried to force her back into the car, but using her cop instincts, she held him down. Suddenly, another car appeared. Seeing it, the driver pushed Gia and fled. Gia reported to the police, but they brushed her off because she's blind. Unexpectedly, what Gia said next left the officer in shock.
வயசு 35ல இருந்து 40க்குள்ள உயரம் ஒரு 6 அடி 70ல இருந்து 80 கிலோ இருப்பான் நீங்களும் கிட்டத்தட்ட 6 அடி உயரம் 30 வயசு கம்மியா இருப்பீங்க கரெக்ட்டா?
Turns out, even though she lost her vision, her other senses became sharper. Based on her accurate descriptions, the officer looked at her with newfound respect and promised her they'd solve the case. A reward was offered for any leads. Soon after, a delivery guy came forward. He claimed he saw the suspect. That day, while making a delivery, he was hit by a car. The driver drove off without an apology. The time and place matched Gia's experience. However, he insisted it was a private car. While Gia thought it was a taxi, the officer believed Gia over the delivery guy, thinking he was just trying to scam a reward. So, he casually dismissed him. Meanwhile, after the man's failed hunt, he found Gia's work badge in the car and followed her to the police station. That night, he saw the same delivery guy. To avoid being identified, he decided to silence him permanently. Following him, the delivery guy sensed something was off. Before he could react, he was knocked down by a brick, but luckily, a neighbor intervened. That saved the young man's life. At that moment, Gia was watching the news on TV. It was about young girls going missing. The location of their disappearance was very close to where she was kidnapped. Gia then remembered the car had real leather seats and bottled water specially prepared for passengers. All these signs indicated that the delivery guy was right. It wasn't a taxi, it was a private car. Turns out, the person who kidnapped Gia and attacked the young man was the same guy. Gia boarded the subway with her guide dog, but she didn't know a man was following her. The delivery guy on the platform recognized him instantly. He tried to warn her, but the train had left. Inside, Gia received a video call from the delivery guy, telling her she was being followed by the kidnapper. She calmly got off the train, the man following closely. She started to run. The man realized he was exposed. He immediately threatened Gia with a knife. Luckily, she was prepared, spraying something in his eyes. She ran with her guide dog leading, but she tripped and fell, and the dog ran out of sight. Without her dog, she depended on the delivery guy's directions. She hurried into an elevator, but the man found her. He forcefully opened the elevator doors and lunged at Gia with a syringe. Just in time, the dog reappeared, dragging him away. In a frenzy, the man stabbed the dog multiple times. Even though the dog was bleeding all over, it did its best to protect Gia. For now, Gia was safe. But the guide dog lay on the ground, slowly stopping its breath. The delivery guy was attacked. Then Gia was stalked. The police realized the gravity of the case. They found sedatives on Gia, something only medical personnel could obtain. The only eyewitness, the delivery guy, sketched the suspect. Even though they narrowed their search to hospitals, there was no lead. Gia, restless, met a missing girl's friend for clues. At first, the friend was evasive, but after Gia's heartfelt plea, she finally spilled the truth.
Sophia pregnant இருந்தா வீட்ல தெரிஞ்சா பிரச்சனை ஆயிடும்னு abortion பண்ணலாம்னு plan பண்ணோம்.
But the friend didn't know who the abortion doctor was. They could only contact the underground broker. Gia decided to target the broker. She discussed with the police to pretend she needed an abortion to infiltrate the criminal's lair, and the man did show up. Gia removed her veil revealing her identity.
சுத்தி போலீஸ் இருக்கு. ஒழுங்கா சோஃபியா வனிதா எல்லாரும் எங்க இருக்காங்கன்னு சொல்லிடு. இதுக்கு மேல உன்னால ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண முடியாது.
But the man looked around through the doors and windows and saw no police. He looked at Gia with a smirk, intimidating her while pulling out a belt. Gia panicked, shouting for help. No one responded. He slapped her down, but she pulled out a sedative needle, striking his neck. He fought back with a scalpel. Suddenly, a group of people burst through the door. Turns out, a delivery guy had been following them just moments ago. He had already taken a picture of their license plate and shared it in a delivery writers group chat. Someone spotted the car in a mountain village. Luckily, the delivery guy and other riders arrived in time and prevented a tragedy. But how could a prison hold this monster of a man? He quickly thought of a way to escape. He started smashing his head against a metal bar. The guards were panicking.
Skull fracture ஆயிடும். அப்புறம் அப்படியே மூளை நசுங்கி போன செத்துடுவேன் சார்.
If he died, the police would be blamed. A guard quickly unlocked the door, bending over to check on him. But suddenly, the man opened his eyes and pushed the guard down. He also knocked another one over. In a short time, he had taken down all 3 guards. He grabbed a guard's phone and quickly left the police station. He found Gia's address. He snuck into the living room, but Gia didn't notice. Then, the delivery guy rushed out and cornered the man. Gia realized the monster had come. The delivery guy held the man back, telling Gia to run. But the man, like a crazed beast, stabbed the delivery guy. Thinking quickly, Gia plugged scissors into an outlet and poured water, causing the electricity to cut off. It was pitch black. But for Gia, who was blind, this was an advantage. She threw an alarm in the bathroom to lure the man and locked him in when he wasn't looking. He kicked the door open, not knowing Gia was hiding. She poured gasoline over him and warned, "If you take one more step, I'll set you on fire." But the man swung a stick at her. Gia threw a match. In an instant, the man was engulfed in flames. He rolled on the ground, managing to put the fire out. Enraged, he charged at Gia and threw her several meters. He kicked her over and over. Gia couldn't fight back. But just then, the delivery guy ambushed the man from behind, knocking him out. They helped each other up and left. Suddenly, the man appeared again, grabbing and beating the delivery guy. Gia, forcing herself up, pretended to drive away, distracting him. At the end of the story, police found missing girls in the man's basement. Even though seeking justice and truth is tough, there are always those who face challenges for themselves and for countless other girls like them. So, girls should always remind themselves, never give evil a chance to strike.
We hope you enjoyed today's story. Don't dash off just yet. Smash that subscribe button and keep the movie magic rolling.